So what's the benefits of becoming a life coach? Well, let's look at the major problem or scenario that people have in this world. We live in a world where we have become so competitive. Our days are full with activities, decisions, fast responses, time management, and people are in a situation where a lot of them are feeling they're sinking. Not enough time, not enough pleasure, no focus, struggling to make the right decisions. And that's where a life coach comes in. It's a concept that's fairly old. I mean, we've been coaching each other for a millennia. I think coaching is a very natural thing we all do in some level of our lives. But to be an effective coach, it's more about taking the skills and honing them, putting the right skill in the right place, learning the right technique at the right time. Now, let's understand the basic reason for the need for coaching. And it's a very simple one. It's allowing people to have a life where there's more joy, satisfaction, passion, and success. One of the things we need to really understand about the era we're living in is we live in the age of information. Now, information is a wonderful thing. It's really awesome to have access to information on the internet. There's hardly any knowledge out there that we don't have direct access to. And our social medias, our friends, the environment we live in is constantly feeding us with information. What has happened to us as a society is we sort of overloaded with information. There's two things that have become in absolute excess supply. The one is information and the second one is advice. We tend to give advice, we tend to hear advice, we're constantly hearing what people are telling us, what we should be doing, how we should be doing it, what direction we should go in. We're getting information about it in the corporate environment, in the work environment, in relationships. There's constantly people and external media senses that are constantly just feeding us with information and telling us what to do. Now that's all good. The problem we have with it is too many choices starts to confuse the brain. And one of the reasons that coaching has developed in such a strong industry lately is it assists people to take all this noise of all this information, all this data, all these choices, and just reduce it into an understandable amount of data to be able to make a well-informed, conscious decision of where I am, what I need to do, where I'm going, and how I'm going to do that. So coaching is developing in a dual function at the moment, which is very interesting at the moment. It is helping people take all this information, sorting it, making the right choices, but also making them more effective. Now, there's a couple of areas in our lives where coaching has really proven over the last couple of years where great results have come in. And here's a few of them. The first one, obviously, is more clarity, much more focus, and a very clear direction of where I'm going. So if I'm very clear of who I am, what my value system is, what is important to me in this world, where am I now, what are my capabilities, skills, talents, gifts, then I can set a path to ensure that my future is in line with who and what I am. My potential of success increases 100-fold. So the clarity, the direction, and the decision-making process of coaching assists the client to know where you're going and get there quicker, sooner, in the shortest route, and have a more fulfilling and effective and successful life. The second area where coaching has really made a change lately is in relationships. Again, if we look at the change in society, how our relationships have altered, mainly because of the work style. We now have dual parents out there working. We have a different structure in our relationships. Our relationships have become more demanding. Our partners have become more demanding. We've become more demanding. Our time has become less to share experiences. So coaching allows us also to look at our relationship and really focus on what is important, what do we need to get out of it, How can we respond differently? How can we appreciate our partners differently? And how can we really have more successful personal love, work, friendship, relationship, and family relationships? Relationships is critical to the human psyche. It is the part that gives us a sense of peace, joy, satisfaction. Very often the relationship is the anchor of who we are. We do a lot of things so that we can have more joy and success in the relationships. So coaching has become a very, very, very important function in relationships, and specifically relationship coaching, which has shown such a great, phenomenal growth and success over the last couple of years. Now, one word that scares a lot of people is the word procrastination. Pauses, struggle to make decisions. Now, another area, the third one where coaching has proven to be extremely successful, is with people that procrastinate a lot. Now, the minute I say procrastinating, most people get a smile, because there's areas in all our lives where we procrastinate. And the reason we procrastinate is simply because either we don't want to do it, or we don't know what's the right way of doing it, or what's the right choice. So with coaching, we eliminate this vague, ambiguous cloud that is hanging around our decisions. We know exactly where we're going. We're excited and going there. And one of the responses or reactions of that is we start procrastinating less. So we don't coach people not to procrastinate. We coach people to be more focused, more directed, more zestful, enthusiastic about where they're going, and less procrastination becomes a result of it. So one can say that there is a procrastination coaching concept, but it's just a result of coaching. But it's really proven to be quite effective, not only in the workplace, but in our lives in general. So it's about going on that journey, but having less pauses, less stops, less interruptions in the process. So we get there faster, we get there in a shorter line, and the pleasure and the joy and the satisfaction, the expenses, everything else is either less or better. The fourth area is balance. Now, the minute I say balance, most people will see a scale, and that's the right image that you want at the moment, is a scale. Because we have a variety of aspects of our lives. We have environment, we have social environments, we have relationships, we have money, we have work, we have pleasure, we have me time, we have holidays, we have decisions, financial decisions, which vehicle to buy, which house, where, what, all of these things. And what it tends to do very often, it consumes who we become. And we become workaholics to supply our own needs with all the wants of our lives. Now, work and life balance is very, very important, and coaching very often assists there to look at what is really the important thing. Where do I actually place my real value? Is it the work part of it that is my true value, or is it the results of the work? Where does my individual value system lie, so that I can ensure that I supply enough satisfaction to my values and balance it out with what I need to do to supply whatever is required to have this value system upheld. So that balance, now the balance doesn't mean it's 50% of this one and 50% of this one. Very often that balance could be 90% and 10%. But if I don't know where it is, then my life very often is out of sync. Then I find I'm doing a lot of things that are not giving me the results, that are not giving me the outcomes that I've been looking for, because I'm wasting time on things that I shouldn't be doing, and I'm not doing enough of things that I should be doing. So when we talk about life-work balance, we're talking about focusing on what I should be doing and eliminating what I should not be doing. So my time becomes effective, my time becomes fun, the results are there, and I'm living this fulfilled life. It's an awesome feeling going to bed at night knowing that my day was full. My day was filled with behaviors and actions and things that I needed and wanted to do that gave me the results I was looking for. And that's when I say life balance, that's what's critical, not bringing everything onto the same level. I don't want to work 50% of the time, play 50% of the time, be in a relationship where, 50% of the time, which part where. So it's critical to know what is important, how much time do I want to spend on it, how much time should I spend on it, and just get that balance sorted correctly. Alright, step 5 is, or point 5 is time. The life we live in, it's as if we have less time. We have less time for work, we have less time for play, and we are results driven. Everything has to be quick, it's got to be effective, and we need results. So through the previous points that I've mentioned, what coaching does, it gives us better results, it gives us bigger results, and it gives us faster results. Now, that sounds sometimes like a little bit over the top. When people tell me, oh, it's bigger, it's faster, it's better, then I sometimes question it because I've heard it so many times. But the simple truth is, if I know what I'm doing and I'm doing the correct things and I'm applying the correct amount of time on the things that I should, and I'm doing what I'm doing correctly, if my subconscious thought patterns and behaviors and habits are all focused, then the results are quicker, then the results are bigger, then the results are better. So those are very often an outcome because of the coaching process. But it's a great outcome, and it really does give a lot of satisfaction. I mean, think about it for a moment. My satisfaction levels are bigger, better, and faster. What more would I want? Now, the main important thing to me, what coaching is all about, is energy. It's about passion. And what I find is the more I coach, the more passionate I become about coaching. But what happens to my clients is, because there's now a tangible future, because you know exactly where you're going, because you have your steps very clearly set out, and you know that the results are achievable, you know that when you put in effort today into something, tomorrow there will be a result, there'll be an outcome, there'll be some kind of a response that is positive, that feeds your value system, that makes you happy. What we find is people start living with more passion, more enthusiasm. There's a higher level of energy in their behavioral patterns. They feel better, there's more joy in life. And that's one of the great outcomes and results of coaching. It's that zesty life, that energized life. At the moment, while filming this, I'm 2 months away from turning 55. I've been living this lifestyle all my life, and I'm still highly energized. I feel young, I live this adventurous, active lifestyle. And it's because of the patterns and the behaviors and the habits that I've adopted through life. I've seen guys my age, and they look as if they're 30 years older than what I am. They act as if they're on the way to the grave. And it's all about knowing where I'm going, knowing what to do, doing the right things, understanding my value system, spending my time correctly. I've only got so many minutes in a day, so I don't waste time on things that don't bring me a result, that don't bring me satisfaction or joy. I do what is required to do. I know when to rest, I know when to relax, I know when to get out there and be active and do things. And that just brings, it fills me in some way. It makes me energized, it makes me happy, and it wants me to do more. And that's a result I see in my clients. That's one of the results you're going to see, not in your own life, in your client's life, through the coaching process. That's why I love coaching. It just brings that zest into life. And I've got a thing that I've always thought of, and I remember Richard Bandler said it once as well. He said, we get born here and we eventually die here. And there's a simple question, and that is, how much joy and pleasure can I have in this time? How much energy can I really burn in this time? How much zest, fun, activities can I squeeze into this time? And it's not about, what I should do or what I shouldn't do. It's all about living life to the best and the fullest that I can from here to there. And in essence, that's what coaching is about. And that's the results I'm always looking for in my client. Is I want to see that oomph, I want to see that zest, I want to see that energy levels just rise, and that passion just coming through. So stick with this. I want to teach you all these techniques.